The 2024 Republican presidential primary field is taking shape.
The battle lines are becoming clearer, and so is the field of candidates.
Is the odds-on favorites, if you look at the polling, still Trump versus Biden?
That seems to be it, but it's just way too early to tell.
I'm more angry now, and I'm more committed now than I ever was.
Big challenge for these candidates is going to be how do they navigate Donald Trump? And how do they navigate Ron DeSantis?
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
Welcome to a special Happy 4th of July Ruthless Variety program. Fellas, it's my favorite holiday.
It's one of the greatest holidays that's ever been created. It's Independence Day. This is the day the Founding Fathers decided we're better as a country than a little British colony, and everything we have to thank for it, and this holiday to celebrate it.
It's the only holiday the libs haven't completely tried to steal from us.
Yeah.
Because the war on Christmas.
Well, we
obviously.
do know.
Yeah.
We do
right?
know.
But
It's
Fourth,
raging.
4th of July is the only holiday they can't cancel.
The libs want, let's just be serious. The libs want to steal this from us.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want us to put up American flags on this holiday.
Right.
And the best thing about it is that we get to stuff it right in the face.
Yeah.
It's the one day that you can stuff it right in everybody's
And that's the
mouth.
thing, it's July. It's the 4th of July. The real pride flag is back and it's flying coast to coast.
That's exactly
That's
right.
exactly right. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like when you wake up in the morning, I mean, you're ready to go all day.
Oh, 100%.
On the
I know
4th
I
of
am.
July, right?
Yeah.
I know I am. I absolutely love this holiday.
You're picking some kind of outfit because it's summer, it's hot. You're picking some kind of outfit that looks like Uncle Sam in a Playgirl calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like it's red, white, and blue only.
Yeah.
You don't dare put anything else on, but it's got to be, probably swimsuit or something like that.
Swimsuit, maybe a wife beater or something
Yeah.
like that. Maybe an American flag hat. You got to go crazy.
Get yourself a bandana.
And I think this is helpful because, like, today, if I had to guess, our listeners are either getting ready to celebrate 4th of July, whether it's going out and grilling, whether they're getting together with friends. So we can help put some tips together on how to have the best possible 4th of July and what that looks like.
Well, I mean, I know what I do. Like I said, I get up bright and early. First thing you do is just light that grill. Get that grill going immediately. And because you're going to be cooking all day. You got to do some 3rd of July prep for this.
Yeah.
You got to get a bunch of meats.
Yeah.
And all kinds of things. But that grill is not going to stop until fireworks are over. So it's like first thing to the end. You find some country music. That doesn't come off, by the way. You're just going to put that on. And if anybody has a problem with country music, well, you're not going to have a good time in my house.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
I thought this was America.
This was America. I also like to find water one way or another. Some people, you have access to some kind of a lake house, a river house. If not, you just turn the sprinklers on in the backyard. But you got to have water on the 4th of July somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just not to drink, I think, pretty much. This is the day that...
No, you want to dehydrate the shit out of yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think key to it is that part of independence is, declaring our freedom, and it was a hard-fought victory against the British. So we have to celebrate that spirit of belligerence, and this wildness and being untamed like America. This is an untamed nation of untamed people who would not submit to a crown. And so I think this is the day you have the pass to be belligerent, out of control, drink, set off fireworks, set them off in the suburbs. It doesn't matter.
You're a big fan of this.
100%.
I think
I love suburbs fireworks.
Here's my rule on suburbs fireworks. If you're going to set off fireworks in the suburbs, it better be a show. If you go buy a bottle rocket and some firecrackers and start setting those things off, that's not going to cut it for me.
Well, it was basically a North Carolina tradition so a lot of libs, sadly we also have a lib governor, they made fireworks essentially illegal in North Carolina.
There's a lot of states that have done that.
So the tradition is you drive down to South Carolina, you hit up south of the border, and you stock up on the craziest shit you can get your hands on. You get the mortars, you get those like the fountains with that sound like the hornets that are on fire. You got to have that, and you set that off at like 10 or 11 p.m.
Make sure every kid in the neighborhood.
Prime time. And also like people, like I've seen a lot of people cry, especially on Twitter, like, oh God, why are people setting off fireworks? my dog is crying or hiding under the couch. Get a patriotic dog.
Wait,
Get a dog that doesn't hate America. Get rid of that dog.
so Smug, when you say south of the border, you don't mean literally south of the border. You mean that place.
South Carolina, the south of the border, exactly.
It's an actual place. It's like an amusement park. I've seen this, and it looks a little run down. But the thing that I love the most about it is they've got this like almost like a Space Needle type thing. That's a giant sombrero.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
It remains incredibly politically incorrect. It's a place where you can get booze and Mexican food and fireworks. So it's like all the needs that you'd want if you're stopping somewhere to get illicit goods.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you imagine a bunch of rural white guys from South Carolina putting together a Mexican town.
And also, if you've never been there, for like 50 miles approaching on the highway,
They give
it's
you the
these
signs.
signs, and it's like, kids, keep screaming. Your parents will pull over. Like, it's a wonderful thing. But you go there, you get your illegal fireworks, you come back to North Carolina, and you set them off at night. You go crazy, and you wait till, if you hear the police car at the top of the block, you put that shit away.
Yeah.
Everyone else, you act normal. Oh, we're just outside. We're just standing outside. This is just
There weren't any
normal.
fireworks here.
You
Dude,
didn't
I
hear,
had great
mortars.
memories of this. So my dad, growing up, we would do the same thing. We had to go to Iowa to go get this stuff. And so we would go to Iowa and you'd go buy the mortars and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember we used to have big 4th of July parties at Lake Minnetonka. And we'd have like hundreds of people over. And everybody's swimming and whatever. And then it would get dark and he would start firing these things off. And he built a tube that sort of like fit into the rocks in front of our house.
That's a pro move.
Yeah. And so it was like, an element of safety to it. Well, like 2/3 of the way through, one of these rockets like flips the tube because these are big suckers.
Yeah.
And the tube is like promptly pointing directly at basically everybody in the car. And it just starts gunning rockets.
like Roman candles.
Yeah, exactly. Way more powerful than a Roman candle. So that was my childhood experience with the fire.
And that's wonderful. Like, Dad Pyrotechnics is just like part and parcel with it. Like, it's a great part of the holiday.
Dad Pyrotechnics.
You gotta have it.
You do have to do it. In Kentucky, they have stands all over the place where you can buy these fireworks, and they're sort of pop-ups, and you wonder how can these guys do this every year? They actually make a lot more money than you would ever expect.
Totally.
I mean, in just a very short period of time, I was talking to a guy, my brother-in-law was talking to a guy who had one of these stands, and he was like, I think we clear about $600K a year.
Holy cats.
And he's like, but I start ordering for next year over the summer. And so, and you could see, everybody's streaming in and out, and we're gonna have a huge fireworks show, huge fireworks. We actually are gonna have 85 people. My wife has a very big family. We're gonna have 85 people at this event. We're teeing off on a golf course around the corner at 7:30 in the morning.
Look at that.
We're going to be grilling all
What
day.
a day.
Kids are going to be swimming. There are going to be a lot of American flags. There's going to be a fireworks show at night. It's like the most American thing that you could ever imagine.
Well, of all of my childhood friends, Hans is the one, and you've heard me talk about Hans before. He's
Great
got
guy.
A lot of stuff going on. He's the one that always hosted big 4th of July things, and it was like, the grill goes Zen burgers for days. You're cooking stuff where everybody's in the water playing like water volleyball or whatever, and then just getting pie-eyed.
Yeah.
And it basically doesn't end until someone is severely injured.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's going to be a mom going to the hospital, but they get fixed up 5th of July, they're ready to go.
Somebody always gets hurt at this 4th of July because they take these sheets of industrial strength plastic and build a
slip and slide.
A 50 to 75 foot wide slip and
The
slide.
kids are going like 45 miles an hour.
And they hose it down with soap and water. And these kids, some of my nephews are absolute athletes, and they just sprint and jump onto this thing, and they try to take it all the way down into the creek where their side is going to be completely cut up. But they get out like it's like a trophy.
If you're like a single person in your mid-20s, it just doesn't get better than 4th of July,
Yeah.
right?
No, it doesn't.
This is the day. This is the day. You've got everybody in swimsuits all day, drinking, having fun, hanging out with each other. Good chance you could find a lifelong partner.
And
You most certainly can.
it's also a good, it sets the stage for summer. Like, I feel like, yes, Memorial Day is like the start, but 4th of July is like, okay, summer is now on.
Yeah.
Like, we are full celebration.
Transition from the month of June, and one of Smug's pastimes is he takes a vat of rainbow ice cream and puts that on the grill and just melts it. Everybody cheers while it melts because it signals a transition from June to independence.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. It's not bad. But I mean, look, everyone appreciates, and by the way, if you have kids, they are outside all day. I mean, that's a huge parenting mistake. If a kid in my family ever stepped foot inside on the 4th of July, it's like akin to Benedict Arnold.
Yeah.
Like you have disgraced your country.
Yeah.
You're outside. I don't even care if it's raining.
Get
You're
out there.
outside.
Cause trouble. I mean, look, what child in their right mind stays inside when there's explosives outside?
You can drown, you can burn, all kinds of different things. that you
all the
can-
shenanigans you can get into. One thing, so I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. And now that we have video on YouTube, Wolf, I'm going to send you the clip. Did you folks ever see the San Diego fireworks show in 2012?
No.
So what ended up happening is typically, you'll see like you go to a fireworks show and they'll set off one of these like massive fountains and then like, another one of these.
Yeah.
It's great. So accidentally, every firework they have was sent up at once. It all detonated.
I
at
did see this.
one
I do remember
time.
it. Yeah.
And so the entire sky, it becomes like day. Right? It was like you'll see an Oppenheimer, just like a nuke goes off. And I think that's just
The
like
whole thing lasted like 1 minute.
Yeah.
But it was like the most spectacular
just
minute
an
in history.
explosion. I mean, that's what we all should aim for. It's like
Just
blow
light
up
the
as
box?
much shit as possible. Yeah, throw it all. Like honestly, like I remember one year in college where we made a lot of terrible decisions, but we're around a bonfire on the 4th of July.
Somebody throws the box in.
One of the buddies just threw the box, and so like everyone scrambles. Well, it's like sounds like Fallujah behind us.
It's like that game when you spin around the bat and then you get up and hit something at somebody.
Yeah.
Only deadly fireworks, explosive devices.
Is it called Dizzy Bat? I think.
Yeah, I
it's
think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And by the way, play Dizzy Bat too.
Great game.
Yeah.
When else are you going to get a chance to hit a baseball at somebody's back?
And get yourself a sunburn. Not a serious sunburn, but get a little bit of color. Because there's nothing better than coming back into the office after the 4th of July and being like, yeah, I had a day.
That's how you celebrate.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Get a sunglasses tan.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You got to look super.
Yeah.
Maybe a beater tan.
Oh,
too.
hell yeah. Yeah.
That's the way you do it. Well, not everybody is appreciating our country as much as they should be. There's new polling out.
That's right.
It's very, very concerning. And this is, I guess, from YouGov again, where half of Americans say that Americans are becoming less patriotic.
That's not the Republican half.
I was going to say, I think you could probably guess which half is which, right?
They're in charge. They control everything, and they hate it. Imagine that. You have the president, you have the press, you have every college, you have the entire federal government at your fingertips, and you hate life.
Yeah.
What a sorry sack.
I mean, if you have a family member who comes into your 4th of July party and they start giving you this like woke history CRT bullshit about the founding of our country, just shove a hot dog in their mouth. Just shove a hot dog in their mouth. I don't want to hear it. This is our day.
I mean, like, listen, so some of these numbers are disturbing. It says for only 13% there will be fireworks, right? It says nearly 2/3 of Americans, 66%, plan to celebrate Independence Day the same amount as usual, with 27% celebrating less than usual, and only 7% saying they'll be celebrating more. What is happening?
So maybe that's part of the fun. Like you can stroll down the street and see who looks like they're not having a good time. Like they're wearing like regular gear.
That's another bonus to, like 11 p.m. fireworks. Is like, well, if you don't want to celebrate, the celebration's coming to you. Inside you have no choice.
Just park your F-150 in their front yard and just start blaring
And it says here about,
country tunes.
yeah, some Lee Greenwood.
Get some Lee Greenwood on there.
it says about 1 in 5 Americans say they will do nothing to celebrate the holiday. Can you imagine?
No.
Who are these people?
You know what I'd like to do? You remember that big, when we did the DeSantis event down in Florida, and there was that dude who had that big pickup truck that had that massive billboard on the
just
back?
doing laps.
It was just doing laps. It was like, it said like "Let's go Brandon" or whatever on it, and it was just doing laps with the music blaring. That might be a play.
That's what you gotta do. If you have any of those neighbors who are like, "Oh, I'm not going to celebrate this day. It's tortured history of this country," hit them with the billboard truck.
I think you can probably rent them. They're probably out there. Search around on Google.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to make that kind of thing happen.
So this is some late breaking news. So 4th of July, you got a lot of grills, you got hot dogs. Apparently, Pepsi has made its first ever condiment.
Interesting.
That's right. So they're calling it Pepsi Cola Chup. It's like ketchup that is infused with Pepsi, actual Pepsi. The special sauce is being launched in celebration of 4th of July, and this is insane. It says it was developed with the Culinary Institute of America.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, that's serious. It says to craft a, quote, revolutionary new type of condiment enhanced with the rich caramel notes and citrusy pop of Pepsi Cola. I think if on 4th of July you're looking for like rich caramely notes, I think that's what the bourbon is for, right? Like I don't need it in the ketchup. I've got the bourbon handling that.
I'm kind of blown away by this. I don't know what to think of it. I mean, I would probably try it just because the other piece of this is, much like Thanksgiving, you're going to eat a lot. I mean, you're going to put away multiple dogs, multiple burgers, and all that kind of thing. Maybe dip an end.
Well, it says here that a variety of ingredients such as smoked tomatoes, I like that, that sounds good, and a blend of spices including cinnamon, thyme, oregano, and paprika, plus onions and ketchup.
This is sounding more like a barbecue sauce than a ketchup, because it's not like just tomatoes and vinegar.
It might be worth a shot. It says it's going to be at a bunch of ballparks. They're going to be at Chase Field in Phoenix, Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, Target Field in Minneapolis, Comerica Park in Detroit. So, if you're going to a ball game, which again, very highly encouraged, if you're going to a ball game, that nothing says America more than that. Wear your gear for sure.
Right.
Because like today, the jersey's not going to cut it. You're going to have to get the red, white, and blue all over the place.
So I'm a Yankees fan, so that means I don't really much watch baseball. But you're a big baseball guy, right, Ashbrook?
Well, Major League Baseball has gotten their act together for this 4th of July. They're starting games early, like 11:05 first pitch for the Cincinnati
are they
Reds.
really?
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so that you can have them on all day while you're grilling, while you're having a good time. You can listen to baseball. And baseball this season is a lot more exciting in my mind than it has been in the past.
Well, not just because the Reds went on a 12-game winning streak.
Well, the Reds are hot. That certainly helps.
But they also, with the new pitch clock and all the game is much shorter. It's much more action-packed. I found it exhilarating to watch baseball this year.
I think for baseball, you have to be there. I have an absolute blast.
Yeah.
Seeing a baseball game in person, for me on TV, it just doesn't do it.
Well, it's fun to listen to kind of as background noise while you're grilling or while you're hanging out.
It's a slower sport.
Us Midwestern kids, that's what we grew up with. Like Dad would have it on in the background of no matter what you were doing on the weekend. It didn't matter. The baseball game was like the background noise to it. So like that's what I can think of. And the old radio calls and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean that's great stuff.
And it suits itself more to it because if you listen to the sport, it can be like, okay, ball or strike. Where you have to watch an NFL game. I don't think you can really listen to an NFL game. They're like, oh wow, he broke off a 20-yard run.
Unless you're going left to right across your radio dial.
That's exactly right. Listening to an NFL game on the radio can be pretty good if it's called by the right guy. And in Cincinnati, we've had this guy named Paul Keels for years, and he is so good.
I mean, I think to me, so I'm 100% more of an NFL type of guy than an MLB type of guy. But it's a shame that we don't, we have Thanksgiving, which is great, but we don't have the 4th of July. Because in my mind, the American pastime has now become football. It's got way more people are watching NFL than MLB. We should have year-round.
Maybe that's football. When they should play the previous year's Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Throw it on the 4th of July.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right?
Honestly, preseason should start 4th of July. That should be the preseason.
Make all the guys go to the 4th of July workout.
They should. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars. It's time to entertain folks.
People getting heat stroke, during the Pro Bowl. Yeah.
But I mean, look, whether it's baseball, whatever, everybody's got their own traditions. As long as you're fully executing it.
100%.
I
think that's the main message today is get out there, celebrate hard, have a good time, don't kill anybody, don't hurt yourself.
Watch out for the props. Watch out for the props if you're in the lake. That's the one thing that'll get you.
100%. And have a good time and celebrate this because, I mean, we are in the greatest country in the world. And that is worth celebrating.
No question about it, Smug. I think that's it. And happy 4th of July to everybody.
Happy 4th of July.
That's right. Happy 4th of July to all the minions out there listening, to all the folks out there on YouTube who are watching. Remember, subscribe if you haven't yet. So, until next time, minions, keep the faith, hold the line, and own the libs. We'll see you on Thursday. Stay ruthless.